Well, what's going on, gang? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. It's very nice to have you here today. I have got another piece of Benchmade history on the table. This one's not as old as the Ruckus that I showed off a little while ago, but this is still very cool. This is the 530, and it's a Mel Pardue design. It doesn't have a name. It's not the Ruckus. It's not the Bug Out. It's not the Bailout. It's just the 530. But it is absolutely the Bug Out's father, grandfather. There might have been something in between. So the 530 here came out in about 2013, 2012, 2013, which to me feels like yesterday. For some of you, it might be before you were born, but for most of you, it's when you were little kids. And it was part of, Mel Pardue worked a lot with Benchmade back then. And this was designed to be, unfortunately, back then there was a lot of, like tactical designs. I hate that word, but whatever. But really what this was an ultralight daily carry pocket knife. And so it is very much in the DNA of the Bug Out. It is almost identical blade stock thickness. They are both Grivory handles. They're both axis lock, although I love this older, sort of interesting axis lock design before they made them all exactly the same. It came with a much more traditional Benchmade clip. It was not deep carry, so I put a deep carry clip that I had laying around, but much like the Bug Out, it is fully ambidextrous, right? It's got, the Grivory's got some shape to it to give you a little bit of texture. It's flared right here to keep your hand from sliding off. Because it is sort of a dagger design in the blade, the Bug Out is considerably slicier, but, this will do everything you want it to. It's even got really interesting thumb studs. I really dig that. Again, before all of Benchmade's used the same thumb studs. It's about the same thickness, like width through the handle, as the Bug Out. I'll put that one on top. I remember when they released the Bug Out, not for nothing, but Benchmade, had acted like they'd sort of reinvented the wheel, when in fact what they had done was given an old knife already in their catalog a slightly new shape. I didn't know that. See, this is one of the things I like about collecting knives. There's always something new to find, even in the old stuff. So let's take a look at what you get on the 530. First and foremost, it is 154 cm blade steel. Right? It's before everything they did was in S30V or fancier. It does have the traditional Benchmade axis lock. Right? Action's pretty darn good for such a lightweight blade and knife. It is a very nice carry. It is a small knife, so you get 3 1/16 of cutting on 3 1/4 inches of that 154 cm. The grip area is the entire length of the handle, so you're looking at 3 3/4, which you actually get a little more grip on the 530 than you do on the Bug Out because of the shape. Tip to tail, we are coming in at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a little over 7 1/4 inches. Closed length. A very reasonable 4 1/16. And in the pocket, this thing is fantastic. I mean, we're talking about just a hair over an inch. This thing absolutely disappears in the pocket, much like its younger sibling or son or whatever you want to call this thing, the Bug Out. I like it because it's a little pokey. It's a slightly less family-friendly version of a lightweight knife than the Bug Out. The Bug Out is designed to look exactly like a completely non-threatening, everyday, basic pocket knife. Mel Pardue designed this to be a little more stabby. I like that. I think it's got personality. Let's weigh it. I think this is going to weigh... again, I've changed the pocket clips on these, so we'll see. But I think it's going to weigh the same, maybe a little less than the bug out. 1.9, bug out's 1.8. Yeah, so it weighs just a little bit more than the bug out. Now that might be because I have this, the heavier pocket clip on there. I'm not sure. I mentioned in a recent video that this is kind of why I collect knives. I just like the history. The availability. At this point, there is stuff going back 20 years that is so interesting, and at this point completely forgotten because of the volume and velocity that the knife market moves. I've got stuff from 2017, 2018 that I'd be willing to bet money a lot of the people watching this video have never even heard of. And it's not because it's weird or obscure. It's because in that time, even this company that makes those knives have made 1,000 other knives. It didn't used to be that way. Heck, in 2018, 2019, so 6-7 years ago, it was, you'd get a drop from these knife companies a couple of times a year, maybe 3 for the big ones. But you'd get a first of the year drop and then a mid-year drop, and then they'd come up towards the end of the year. That was it. Now the smaller companies were dropping stuff on Amazon and stuff on the regular, but it's not like now. Now, we, for instance, drops 5, 6, 7 knives a month, right? And which is totally wild. Concept, Artisan, CGRB, which is Artisan. All these companies, there is a constant stream of knives. Even the smaller, the American makers, the small factory guys, it used to be a few years ago, they drop knives ahead of the big shows or just after, like Blade Show West. And now 3, 4, 5 times a year, they'll release, 100 of their knives. Everyone has accelerated the process, which is great if you love pocket knives, but it also means that things fall out of the sort of public consciousness super fast. And I like the history. And I like this knife. I think this thing is cool. I don't really like the bug out that much. And I've said that many times. Not because there's anything wrong with it, just because it doesn't... I don't need a knife to be this light. So if I'm going to carry a pocket knife that is shaped like this, I'll carry something a little heavier. Not much, but a little heavier. But now, if I want to carry an ultralight Benchmade in, like basketball shorts or something like that, I have an alternative that I think is very, very cool. Anyway, this is the Benchmade 530. It is a Mel Pardue design. It is a lovely addition to my collection. I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments below. Oh, wait. I said it's the same blade thickness. Let's see if that is true. So, this is 2.1 millimeters. I think it's the same. Oh! Bug out a slightly thicker blade stock. That's funny. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the 530. I am very happy to have it in the collection. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we'll see you next time.